Hello everyone, my name is Sir Spooks. Work is almost always a place that we collectively despise going to, unless it's a job that you genuinely love doing. Although most people dread having to go to work each day, there's usually no immediate danger to their health while there. However, for a TikTok user named Grisel Hernandez04, that's not necessarily the case. On June 14th, 2022, Grisel uploaded a video to the popular social media platform showcasing him filming something rather suspicious at his worksite, which appears to be some sort of industrial or hospital building or something of the sort. Although it can be a little hard to make out, if you look just close enough, you should be able to make out exactly what has been freaking Grisel out. Take a look.
Todos pensando que era broma lo de la niña en el trabajo.
Hey, yo.
Güey, no mames. Verga. No mames.
La niña no estoy.
A strange ghostly girl can be seen standing in the distance, wearing a white robe with long dark hair,
Grizzle?
almost like the iconic character Samara from the popular film series The Ring. But who exactly is this ghost girl? Is this just a random ghostly entity that's unfortunately making itself known at Grisel's workplace? Is it just a hoax? Let me know what you think about this situation in the comment section down below. The following video was published to TikTok by a woman who goes by the username of Savannah Vibes, and actually starts off relatively cute and wholesome, before taking a serious...
Well, from me or the video? You guys hear everything good? You couldn't hear me or you couldn't hear the video? I just scared myself with my own I just scared myself with my own shadow.
Seriously dark turn. In the footage, we watch Savannah's young daughter playing around with a plush toy on the ground. A kid simply being a kid and having the time of their life. It's hard not to watch this video and smile, at least at first, that is. As the little girl sits on the ground playing with the plush, something strange and frightening happens right before her eyes without her even actually noticing anything. Take a look at this and see if you notice anything out of the ordinary. Did you see it? It only happens very briefly in a blink and you'll miss it kind of moment. But at this moment, you can see that the plush toy's head moves ever so slightly without any sort of assistance.
The leg could have
all.
moved it. I'm saying fuck this. I'm actually going to play. Fuck, what was it? Meg put me onto something a couple of weeks ago. How do you look at your history? Kinita and I by Baby. There we go. I got something way better than Sir Spooks. Hold on.
This first one was submitted by viewer Trent Leons, and when this was recorded, he and his family had recently moved into his grandparents' house.
This, to me, is way fucking scarier than those Sir Spooks videos and even some of Nuke's top 5 videos. Because these are real people. Real people. Like, honestly, I was telling my girl the other night, you know what's scarier than a ghost or a demon? A real person trying to inflict harm on you. that is actual fear. Wait, what did you call Curly? Mr. Night. Oh, yeah, Mr. Nightmare. She told me this weeks ago. I should have been done this. I watched like 1 or 2 videos yesterday, I think, or before yesterday. And I was like, yo. Yeah, you should have been sleeping. This is not shit you watch when you're trying to fall asleep.
The house is in the middle of nowhere, so the family naturally had their guard down. However, one night at 1 in the morning, while most of the family was asleep, Trent got a notification for a ring that there was motion at the front door. A notification for movement wasn't a concern as the family has outdoor cats that are active at night, but there was definitely reason for concern when it said somebody is at your front door. One of the family members grabbed a gun and went to open the front door, and that's where he started to raise his hands and started asking for help.
Help? Can I use a phone to call a cab?
He asked to use a phone, to which the family gave him a cell phone, and with it he tried calling someone, but to no avail.
No problems, man. You know me? Yep.
He then proceeded to start walking off down the road. As the guy was walking down the road, 2 of the family members decided to hop in their truck and find out where he was going, and they found him walking down the road and looking like he was going to another house down the road, the nearest one being half a mile away. The 2 family members decided they didn't want him near their house or any neighboring houses, so they offered he get in the bed of the truck and they drive him into town, and about a couple minutes later, they arrived in town and dropped him off. The whole time he had his hands up and kept looking at the 2 family members while he backed away from the truck. It could have been assumed that the man was genuinely looking for help and needed to call someone, if it weren't for the fact that other family members reported that the week prior, he was in another neighborhood around the area, allegedly asking for help again, in late hours of the night, going from door to door in dimly lit areas. It's quite possible that he may have been trying to maliciously gain entry into the homes of sympathetic or unsuspecting people. It's unknown if that's the case or if he was ever successful.
A woman by herself at home. That's what he was looking for.
This one was posted by a Redditor named T Course, and there aren't as many details on this one, other than it happened in a small suburb late on a rainy night. This was way past solicitation or visiting hours. The homeowner wasn't home at the time and saw the notification the next day, which is when they saw this video footage. From the darkness appears a middle-aged woman with an umbrella, with her mouth gaping wide open.
Hell no.
She stands there for about 20 seconds after ringing the bell, the whole time with her mouth hanging eerily wide open, aside from closing it for a couple seconds, showing that her mouth didn't appear to be stuck in this hanging open position.
Bro, what?
She tries the doorbell or another button one more time before walking away and disappearing into the darkness seconds later. The homeowner says he didn't recognize this woman at all. Some people believe it was some kind of condition the woman was suffering. Whether it was or not, this wouldn't explain why she was ringing a stranger's doorbell in the late hours of the night. Perhaps another encounter that a homeowner was lucky to avoid.
Hell no.
This footage was
Jesus,
captured
go
as a
find help
homeowner was
somewhere
entering her
else.
house after just getting home. The woman lives in a suburban town in Illinois.
Oh shit.
Como pra fora. Tamo. Não sei, então. Okay.
The woman in the video was unaware of the fact that she was being watched from the distance by two people hiding in the dark, waiting for her to open her front door. As she steps into her house, the two aggressors take their chance to enter the house while the door is still open. The woman screams as she's startled by the unwelcomed visitor behind her. The first of the two teens to enter the house says, "Don't move and don't scream."
Como papaya. Oh, don't move. Don't scream. Don't.
The rest of what is said between he and the woman is inaudible. However, according to the woman in the video, he demanded her car keys. After handing him her keys, which can be seen in one of the teenager's hands, the two take off towards her car, which they then steal. There was someone else in the house with the woman who was also held at gunpoint alongside her. He also remains nameless. The woman wasn't harmed, thankfully, and one of the two teenage aggressors were found and arrested, 18-year-old Brendan McCrew. The other aggressor has still yet to be identified. This video is a prime example of why you should always be aware of your surroundings before opening your front door.
I tell that to my girl all the time.
This past July in 2021, this disturbing footage caught on a couple's Ring doorbell camera surfaced on the web. In the footage, a tattooed man with a long gray beard holding a plastic bag, apparently talking to himself, approached the front door of the couple's house.
This one's fucked.
The man in the video apparently spotted the unnamed wife inside of the house through the kitchen window. He approached the front door, where he repeatedly started saying, "Are you sure? Are you positive? I just have a few questions for you."
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure?
I'm gonna hit that nigga right in his chest.
Are you sure?
I can't breathe. Are you sure?
I just
have a couple questions for you.
Questions for you.
Why the fuck are you at my house?
Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain?
The wife said she never responded to the man. She simply hid in her home and called 911. The man was standing there knocking on the glass, repeating the same three things over and over to nobody. Her husband, who was not at the home at the time, accessed the intercom system and asked the man who he was as he was walking away. This caused him to come back, look into the camera, and start saying some pretty nasty, disturbing things.
How are you?
What? Yeah? Are you sure?
Who are you?
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about AB Fuel. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to rape her and kill her. Can you have her open the door? I'm going to rape and kill the girl that's on the other side of this door when she lets me in. I want to rape her and kill her because I have a knife and a gun. Yeah, and I'm going to knock on her door again. All right.
Bro, the speed I would have drove home with, bro.
And asked if she could open the door multiple times. After one more unsuccessful knock, the man walked away, talking to himself in different voices as he did. Police found and arrested the man the next day after another report of a suspicious man in the area, and he was identified as 40-year-old Christopher Sums, a fugitive from California.
Oh, and a fugitive.
This footage was captured in Bristol and shows a man approach and knock on Kathleen Frascarelli's door. That in of itself isn't so disturbing, but it's the fact that it was very late on a Sunday night, and the image she saw on her phone was of a masked person on the other side of the door. However, the fact that it was late on a Sunday night, and that the image she saw on the phone was of a masked person on the other side of the door, is enough to give someone pause.
That mask got me, bruh. The way he paused on it, boom, got me fucked up, bro. Hold up.
But it's the fact that it was
That
very
shit
late
got
on
me.
a Sunday night, and the image she saw on her phone was of a masked person on the other side of the door. However, the fact that it was late on a Sunday night,
That
and that
unnecessary
for the
pause.
doorknob they tried to open when they first walked up to the house. The fact that they wiped away their fingerprints already says that they were up to no good, if everything else about this didn't already scream that. Kathleen stated that he had something heavy in his sweatshirt pocket, which he doesn't know what it was. A neighbor who saw the person leaving said he had a bag that he was carrying with him, so God knows what was in there. By the time Kathleen made it downstairs, the person was already in a car parked across the street, which they sped off in. Footage like this is really the scariest because nobody knows how these encounters would have gone down if the doors were opened.
Yeah, that's weird. Y'all want to watch another one of this, or you guys want to go straight to Nuke's top 5? Oh, you thought this purse shit was sweet, right? Bow, bow, bow. Hit him with the dirk, yo.
Home security technology has come a long way. Doorbell cameras such as Ring have become extremely popular in recent years, acting as an effective deterrent from potential robbers or any other kind of unwelcomed guests. Their ability to record video whenever someone comes within range to the front of a house or any other section of the house that they're installed in creates an added level of security to a person's home. With the millions of Ring doorbell cameras installed throughout America has come a lot of creepy footage, including the following.
We'll watch one more and then we'll go
This
to
first
Nukes.
piece of footage was captured by the Ring camera in the LeMay household. It happened on a cold December night in 2019. A stranger hacked into the LeMay family's Ring security system and had watched them around their home. And for nearly 10 minutes, he interacted with 8-year-old Alyssa. Not only was he able to watch her, but he was able to communicate noises to her, as he had access to a second system placed in the girl's babysitter's room downstairs. Alyssa then heard music coming from upstairs in her bedroom, which she shared with her and tried to figure out her in the bedroom.
What the fuck?
Thinking
The audio just cuts off. Oh, probably copyright. Because he said music was playing.
in the girl's babysitter's room to her, as he had access to a second system placed in the girl's babysitter's room downstairs. Alyssa then heard music coming from upstairs in her bedroom, which she shared with her
Yeah, you heard the thing?
room, which she shared with her.
Yeah, it's copyright.
She realized someone was watching her in the bedroom because the blue light from the Ring camera was blinking. Then, in a strange man's voice, she heard this.
Hello there.
The 8-year-old gasped and tried to figure out where the voice was coming from. She would pick up her toys to see if they were what was making the noises. She scanned the room, and moments later, the man started screaming a racial slur at her over and over, until Alyssa responded by screaming this.
What? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
The man proceeded to tell her to go call her mom the racial slur and demand that she repeat it back to him. Moments later, the voice would reply to Alyssa asking who are you by saying he's her best friend, he's Santa Claus.
Who is that?
I'm your best friend. I'm Santa Claus.
Yep, exactly what. Hold on. Exactly what Curly just said. If you're gonna buy a home security system or anything electronic for your house, purchase a VPN. $5 a month, $3 a month, whatever the cost is. It's worth the hassle, because you do not want people who can access your connections. It is very just because you have a password on your internet, you think you're safe on the router. It doesn't mean shit. It doesn't. I know how to do that. I'm not saying I do it, but I know how to do that. I can access any one of my neighbors' Wi-Fi if I wanted to. If I didn't have internet and I wanted to steal their internet, I could do that in my sleep. So creeps, they're going to take advantage of that shit. Log into your camera system, your Amazon, your Alexa, all that shit. So get yourself a VPN. It's like $3, $5, $4, depends who you go with. And make sure your shit is secure, because ain't shit safe out here.
I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend?
That dude's a creep. You can
I'm
tell
Santa Claus.
After all of this, the man tries to tell the girl she can do whatever she wants, including break things in her room.
I'm your best friend. You can do whatever you want right now. You can mess up your room. You can break your TV. You can do whatever you want.
The LeMay family, who resides in Memphis, Tennessee, hoped to use the device to keep an eye on their daughters while they played. The scary thing is that it took only a few days for the camera to be hacked. Perhaps the scariest thing is that no one knows how long he had access to the device. This could have gone on even longer if the hacker decided not to produce any sounds through the device. Put yourself in the little girl's shoes. Imagine hearing a creepy song playing in your bedroom, not knowing where it's coming from, only to realize that it's coming from a camera system that you set up in there, and that someone could be watching you. Now imagine waking up to that in the middle of the night.
That's terrible, bro.
In another similar scenario, here's the footage from a Ring camera that was also taken over by a hacker who attempted to speak to a young girl while she was watching television.
What you watching? Hey, what show is that?
You can tell.
The father and homeowner, Adam Kerselik, had set up the Ring camera in his kitchen. In the footage, a voice can be heard speaking to his daughter after he momentarily leaves the room.
I've seen that show before. What season you on? Hello?
When Adam re-enters the room and opens the fridge, the voice says, "What are you eating?"
Hello? What are you eating? You hungry? What?
He looks around at first, rightfully confused as to where the voice could be coming from, though he eventually catches on and approaches the camera as he asks, "Who is this?"
Powering off. Hello. This is Ring.
Who is this? Who is this?
Adam disabled the camera shortly after the video ends, and he expressed his disappointment in Amazon's lack of security on their products. He said he was never advised to set up two-factor verification when he installed the camera 6 months prior. Because of the lack of security on the Ring devices, he has since taken down all his interior cameras. This and the Lemoy family's horror stories aren't the only ones of their kind though, as since 2019, over 10 other families in different states had reported that hackers have spoken to them through the devices.
I'd be pissed, like, bro, you wasting my
On
time.
November
being a
12th,
creep.
2019, the disturbing footage of a woman screaming for help was captured from a Ring doorbell's camera in a small
shit, I
neighborhood of
saw this
Los
on
Angeles
Twitter.
around 11 p.m. The screaming is followed by a white vehicle speeding down the street with the trunk open, from which the screaming is coming from. Police were not aware of the doorbell footage until the following morning, but on the night of November 12th, they responded to a report of a possible kidnapping. Police couldn't find any evidence of a kidnapping at first. However, after the footage came to light, the LAPD reopened their investigation. A witness claimed she also heard a man say, "I'm sorry," which you can hear in the video at one point. The sad thing is, this was 2 years ago, and nothing ever surfaced with this. If this was an actual kidnapping, the kidnappee was never found. This was the footage captured around 3 a.m. on a man's Ring camera. Not much more information than that was shared. However, multiple conclusions can be drawn from what's seen. It starts with a masked woman seemingly trying to enter the man's house, until she notices the doorbell camera, at which point she stares into the camera for almost 40 seconds. Halfway into her disturbing gaze into the camera, she puts on a pair of goggle-type glasses and pulls the mask covering her mouth and nose up higher onto her face, clearly trying to mask her identity as much as possible. Before she walks away, she makes several hand gestures into the camera, then turns and appears to grab something from behind one of the walls of the house. As she slowly walks away from the house, you might assume she's leaving for good. However, you can see she continues to pace back and forth in front of the house until the video hits the 2-minute mark, at which point the doorbell camera is set to stop recording. After the video ends, however, according to neighbors, the woman was seen standing outside the house for at least another 20 to 30 minutes before finally disappearing.
What the fuck?
It's not known who this woman was, whether it be a crazy stalker ex-girlfriend or someone completely random. This begs the question, what could she have wanted with the owner of the house? But given everything the woman was wearing from head to toe, it's obvious she came to that house with intentions of masking her identity. Why is a question that may never be answered. And with this last one, we see a scene that seems like it was taken straight from one of the hundreds of stories I've read on the channel. Once again, at some off hour in the night, a woman approached the front door of a Reddit user's dad's friend's house somewhere on the east coast of the United States. The woman seems to have a slight smile on her face at first, as she looks around the front door of the house all confused like. She stands there for 2 full minutes at least, acting nervous and confused, looking behind her several times in a paranoid manner. But what is most concerning about this unexpected visit was the large kitchen knife in her hand, that she looks down at several times in the footage.
You gonna tell me people wired like this don't look possessed?
While the generally accepted theory on this was that the woman has some form of dementia, and while this may be a realistic explanation, this cannot be 100% confirmed simply based on the video. While it is unfortunate if she does in fact have dementia or any other sort of illness that caused her to do this, it would still be hard to imagine just how scary this would be for the owner of the house waking up in the middle of the night to this footage from his doorbell camera. Surveillance cameras in general have come a long way in providing security to people's properties. While Ring doorbell cameras could...
Fucked up, bro. I'm good. You don't have to say bye to Gram. She shows up at my door.
From the dark doorway. Popular Japanese ghost hunters Hiro and Tomo from the YouTube channel Omagatoki Film travel to a mysterious abandoned house that is said to be extremely haunted. The story goes that years ago a married couple was living in the house. The wife descended into madness, and late one night in a fit of rage, she violently took her husband's life. And then she took her own. These days the house has been abandoned for over 10 years. No one goes near the place, and it is believed that some evil presence haunts the home. But that doesn't stop the Omagatoki Film team. Investigators Hiro and Tomo vow to spend the night and explore the infamously
Japan
haunted
on the
house.
first one.
Eventually, the two guys decide to split up. Hiro goes back to the car and Tomo stays to explore the second floor. As Tomo looks around, he finds an opening into the attic. There he finds old clothes and pictures of the family that once lived there. Tomo calls Hiro to tell him what he's found. But there is something else going on that is downright chilling. Watch very closely.
もしもし。なんか天板が外れて屋根裏みたいなのがあったの。なんかすごいなんか雑音がすごいね。あ、マジ？いや、やばい。全然聞こえない。マジ？なんかね、大丈夫？今聞こえる？あ、今聞こえる？聞こえる？はい。あそこの押し入れの中を見たんだけどさ、なんか天板が外れてさ、屋根裏みたいな感じになってたな。
Tomo experiences odd interference when attempting to phone Hiro. And did you see it? Tomo doesn't notice, but someone appears to be peeking out at him from a dark doorway.
Oh, hell.
Completely unaware of what he has just captured, Tomo heads down to the car to meet up with Hiro. Once he's gone, a static camera captures something absolutely terrifying.
Yo, what the fuck?
The figure of a woman can be seen in the doorway, just kind of standing there motionless. Then suddenly, without explanation, the camera just stops recording. When Tomo and Hiro review their footage, they are shocked by what they discover. So could this be the apparition of the woman who went mad inside the house? Or just who or what is this? Let me know what you think. You can watch this entire creepy 2-part investigation over on the YouTube channel Omagatoki Film. Meanwhile, on TikTok user Tim Saver says that he's a new night guard at an undisclosed facility. He says that he's the only guard willing to work the night shift, and for good reason. You see, strange and unexplainable things seem to happen in the building in the dead of night, but no one knows why. Over the course of the next week, Tim begins to understand where most of the activity in the building takes place. A creepy abandoned unit just inside the facility. On night 11 at his new job, he leaves his phone to record the abandoned unit as he makes his rounds. An hour into the recording, this happens. A light flashes and a hatch leading to the upper attic space opens and closes on its own. Gathering his courage, Tim grabs a ladder and climbs up into the attic to investigate. What happens next is downright chilling. A creepy pale hand seems to come out of nowhere and wraps around a small statue sitting on the attic floor. Even stranger, there appears to be no arm or no body attached to the hand. Tim quickly gets out of there. So, is it real? Or is it all just an elaborate TikTok hoax? You decide. TikTok user Brianna's videos are mostly dedicated to her favorite pastime, free diving in the beautiful waters just off the coast of sunny Florida. Now, none of Brianna's videos have anything to do with the supernatural. Well, except for just this one. One afternoon, Brianna is going for a routine dive when she captures something truly chilling.
In the water? Oh, fuck no.
Brianna starts to panic as she hears loud, distressed underwater screams all around her. After she surfaces and disturbed by what she just heard, she goes down again to try to figure out just what is going on.
I agree. It's crazy how underground water
This
sounds
time,
like.
there
Like she's
are
in a
no
fish tank.
screams. Brianna is baffled by what just happened and posts her strange unexplained video to TikTok. Now, of course, many viewers accuse Brianna of adding a fake audio track to her dive video. So, to prove them wrong, Brianna posts again, this time showing the footage directly from her GoPro camera.
So, people are asking what camera I use. GoPro 7 works perfectly fine for me. I cracked it a little bit, but I use a case. Definitely not a voiceover though, so I'm going to show you the video straight out of my GoPro. Just like how I recorded it. So you can hear.
I mean, it's in the original footage.
Voiceover or an edit or anything like that. So.
Now, when watching Brianna's original video, it looks like she's swimming through some kind of wreckage, possibly that of a sunken ship. Many viewers believe that she might have captured the eerie final screams of the ghost of someone who didn't survive the wreck.
Sounds legit to me.
Now,
like
paranormal or not, the strange underwater screams are absolutely unnerving. This next creepy video was uploaded to TikTok by Rosie B from Michigan. The home security clip shows Rosie's daughter strolling through the kitchen when the toddler seems to have a very odd and chilling encounter. At first, the girl appears to be talking to someone that we can't see, when suddenly something seems to try to yank a plastic container of snacks right out of her hand. Whatever it is then seems to go after her toy box. The toddler puts up a fight and wins, and then just walks away, seemingly angry at whoever or whatever was grabbing at her things.
You can't even fake that, bro.
And chilling encounter.
That is yanking. That's legitimate yanking. Or just like that's yanking. Man, yank right here again. That's
At
so
first, the girl
crazy.
appears to be talking to someone that we can't see, when suddenly something seems to try to yank a plastic container of snacks right out of her hand. Whatever it is then seems to go after her toy box.
Hell no,
the toddler
bro.
puts up a fight and wins, and then just walks away.
I'm calling a Catholic priest. I'm gonna let him know. Yeah, I am Catholic. I just moved in here from another state. That's why you haven't seen me at the local church. You know, wherever y'all are located. But I need you guys to come here and bless this house and perform an exorcism on the house and protect my child. Because you can't be like, oh no, I'm not Catholic. There's a lot of times it'll turn you away actually if you're not Catholic. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying it happens. It does happen.
Seemingly angry at whoever or whatever was grabbing at her things. Later, when Rosie asks her daughter about what happened, the little girl says that a young boy and girl were trying to take away her toys. But looking at the video, there's just no one there.
Nah, bro.
At least no one that we can see. So is the little girl fighting over toys with the ghosts of 2 children? Let me know what you think. Before we move on to the next video, if you see anything that you think should be included in the top 5, contact us at nukestop5@gmail.com. My Haunted Hotel.
We saw it.
Over 400 years ago, all the way back in 1622, the old King's Head Inn was built in Chester, England. It is said that at least 13 ghosts haunt the old inn, including a man in black that roams the haunted hotel and the ghost of a young child.
Wait, pause. Don't spoil anything if you have. Just letting you know in advance. But have you guys seen the show Evil? It's on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen that show, go watch it. ASAP. After this stream, go watch the show Evil. If you have, please don't give away any spoilers in chat. Go watch the show Evil. It's about a priest, a guy who only believes in science, and a woman who believes in nothing. They go and assess cases, right, individually, because there are assessors that work for the Vatican and individual Catholic churches. And someone can call and be like, hey, I think my husband's possessed. Assessors need to go make sure that it's not mental illness, that they're not faking it, and provide enough evidence and proof that it is a possession or a poltergeist or, a ghost, whatever it may be. You need to go watch it. The main guy, the black dude, he is from the show Luke Cage. I'm sure you guys have seen him. Go watch it.
The many spirits of the inn are said to frequent.
You know what?
From Michelle and Robert King, Evil, coming this fall to CBS.
I'm gonna let y'all see the trailer.
True or false? I like mechanics magazines.
Are you serious? False.
I have diarrhea once or more a month.
False, but thanks for asking.
I like the sound of a woman screaming. Orson?
How many times have you declared a defendant sane?
Forensic psychologist doesn't declare.
How many times have you determined the defendant had the mental capacity to be prosecuted?
34 times.
Is my client possessed by a demon?
Are you referring to demons metaphorically or clinically?
Ms. Bouchard, I work for the Catholic Church.
So you're a priest?
No, an assessor. My colleague Ben and I investigate unexplained phenomenon.
I didn't know that was a job.
It is.
I don't believe in all that. Devils and possession.
The problem with my job is that possession looks a lot like insanity, and I need someone to help me distinguish between the two.
The show is so good. My favorite quote that I saw, the devil doesn't care if you believe in him or not because he believes in you. Excuse me. Devil, bad energy, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. If it targets you, it believes in you. So you can be like, blah, 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 I can't hear you, I don't believe in you. But if it's targeting you, you're going to catch that ass whooping. It's called Evil. It's on Amazon Prime. It's so good. It's so great. Watch this show. I'm telling you.
Phenomenon.
So you're a priest?
No, an assessor. My colleague Ben and I investigate unexplained phenomenon.
I didn't know that was a job.
It is.
I don't believe in all that. Devils and possession.
The problem with my job is that possession looks a lot like insanity, and I need someone to help me distinguish between the two.
Orson? Baby, what's wrong?
This is what? A haunting?
Well, the theory is that the demon takes over the house, and then it takes over the person.
Manifestation, infestation,
I know you
possession.
believe in this stuff. I don't. This is stupid. Again, there's no demonic possession?
No. My wife believes in that stuff.
Man, this show is so good.
There are people out there who do bad things and encourage others for their pleasure of it.
Psychopaths.
Yes, this is where our beliefs overlap.
It's not real. It's just a dream.
Can a dream do this?
Take this. Trust me, you may need it.
I'm here to tell the truth.
You're in way over your head, Miss Bouchard.
What happened to nonviolence?
It's provisional.
Is that what Jesus said?
You're a bitch.
Oh boy, do you have that right. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Oh, I got goosebumps. Bruh, y'all need to watch this show, I'm telling you. I'm watching season 3 now. It's finally... Most of the episodes are out because they were doing it about a new episode every week. Ooh, the show is so good.
Interact.
After this stream, go watch that shit. I'm telling you, it's worth your time.
With visitors and guests, especially in the inn's many bedrooms. These days, Ye Old King's Head still serves as a hotel, bar, and restaurant and is now owned by Harry Achilleos. As a paranormal enthusiast himself, Harry has a grand plan for Ye Old King's Head Hotel. He wants to capture real evidence of paranormal activity at the inn and let hotel guests experience it as well. Harry, along with his friends and fellow paranormal investigators Brett and Danny, installed 16 live cameras to record multiple angles of every room in the hotel. Visitors can now rent rooms to explore and seek out their own paranormal experience. And they usually find it. The owner and his team carefully monitor their guests on the 16 video feeds, both to make sure that everyone is safe and to capture paranormal evidence. The Old King's Head team have collected hours of creepy, unexplained footage, and they share their spookiest moments over on their YouTube channel, My Haunted Hotel. Now, the guests that come to the hotel are usually not paranormal investigators in any way. In fact, most of them have never even encountered anything paranormal at all. So sometimes the visitors can be a little bit jumpy. Guest Kirsty is filled with fear when she is asked to investigate the hotel's cellar all by herself. While she's down there alone in the dark, something happens that scares the living shit out of her.
I love when he cusses.
Oh, say. Oh my God. This is the worst thing I've ever done my whole entire life.
You're welcome.
God. Oh. Oh, is there anyone in here?
Oh, it's the generator. It's the generator.
The eerie silence is suddenly broken by a loud roar as the hotel's generator turns on without warning, making poor Christy nearly jump right out of her skin. Even the My Haunted Hotel team jump at the sudden noise, but they quickly laugh it off when they realize that it's just their generator. But in some...
Wait, that's a great point Peter made. That's why I feel like man became friends with dogs. They're so sensitive to this shit, can help us steer clear. Yeah, you know what? That's very interesting. I'm going to look into that. Maybe at some point in history, aside from hunting, man realized that, because, I mean, imagine what spirituality was like back in the day when the hemisphere wasn't clouded with radio signals and satellite and cars and buildings and cell phone signals. It was just life and death, and people would die. And the way, ceremonial burials and all that shit was very different than now. We just go, we either cremate the person or they're buried at another location that is not your home. Because if you remember, not that long ago, it was very common for people to bury their loved ones in their backyard. I'm talking like 50s, 40s, 30s. By then they had funeral homes, but it was also allowed. You were allowed to bury someone you loved in your backyard. So imagine the amount of paranormal activity in the past. And there were probably some guys that found out, hey, dogs can sense this shit. I'm going to keep a dog around, and if there's something paranormal, the dog will know, and I can steer clear from it. That's actually a really good point that you made.
Something happens that they just can't explain.
Whoa, what was that though? What the hell just happened? What was that? Something just off camera is just...
What, just to try and explain here, the generator's just gone off in the cellar, and Kirsty's obviously cracked herself as it's happened. It got us, but something has happened here off camera that has made her now run out of the cellar. We have to radio through and make sure they're okay.
In a bizarre twist, a gigantic bang occurs on what we believe to be the cellar hatch off camera, and it is so loud it distorts the audio. To cause this loud of a bang means something must have hit the hatch with considerable force, but we find nothing that could have caused this.
Right, we're just heading in now to find the girls. Girls, where are you? Right, what the hell just happened?
I am never, ever going in a cellar ever again.
Right, so we saw the generator come on,
yeah,
which is
that
obviously...
scared me.
But what was it off camera?
Something just went boom.
So it was to your left. We
Yeah.
couldn't see it off camera.
Yeah, it was on this side.
What was it? Can you try and explain what it was?
I don't know. It was like just a big massive bang, and then I ran.
So obviously the generator's not paranormal, but then the bang that
the
you
bang
heard...
was definitely something. That was nothing like normal.
Kirsty says that right after the generator turned off, she heard another completely unexplained loud bang and just made a run for it. Now, Kirsty isn't the only guest to experience a creepy encounter with the unexplainable. On a different night, guests Janine and Lottie are investigating the hotel's most haunted room, Room 5. This room is said to be a hotspot for paranormal activity. The child ghost that roams the hotel is said to be particularly active in this room. So the space has been decorated with dolls and toys. And it seems like the two women might not be alone in there.
Hello, children. We've got a toy here. You can change the lights on it. What was that? What was that? Please tell me that was them next door. I don't know if it's them next door or not.
Janine and Lottie hear a disturbing bang, but they are unable to locate exactly where it came from. Then a doll sitting on a shelf in the corner falls to the floor all on its own. Janine, Lottie, and the My Haunted Hotel team are all shocked by the experience. But Janine is a bit of a skeptic and attempts to debunk what just happened. But she chooses a very, very odd method to debunk the incident.
You evil little... Oh, you wound up! You evil... No, don't do that! No! Right. Switch foot table. Oh, God. I don't know what you're doing. Right. I've jumped up and down in front of it, and it's not moved. No. Right. Sit a bit closer. I ain't close to the door. That's going off again. Right, you're in the room with a... Oh my
God! We're in room 5. Started off very quiet, and About 3/4 of an hour into it.
Oh, the Chinese
we had
ghost
a
hunters
huge
are
thud
wild.
on the wall.
Like, you motherfucker.
And the doll literally
You dick sucker.
flew off the shelf.
So now we cut to another night weeks later, and the scariest moment ever captured inside the hotel occurs when a staff member is simply locking up the downstairs bar for the night, as the guests are all in their rooms.
What is that? Watch closely as staff member Tom, who has just locked the downstairs bar, comes to drop the keys off. And as he enters the function room, a clear baby crying is heard coming from the old brothel. This is one of the clearest pieces of DVP, direct voice phenomena, we have ever captured, and Tom is left in pure shock, as are the team.
What the fuck?
I don't see a baby.
Yeah. Huh? You said yes, huh? Who said yes? Me.
Did you see a baby?
Yeah.
See the baby crying.
I have goosebumps, bro. What the fuck? It sounds like an old lady to me.
Me. What's that?
Fuck.
Who's that? I don't see a baby.
Yeah. Huh? You said yes, huh?
Who said yes? Did you see a baby? Yeah. See the baby crying.
The guys are shocked when the eerie sound of a crying baby can be heard echoing throughout the hotel's restaurant. Now, to be clear, there were no children of any age in the entire building, and the guys find nothing. So could it be that centuries of history have left Ye Olde King's Head as a bizarre paranormal hotspot? Let me know in the comments.
That doll felt.
You can watch many more guest spooky experiences and terrifying overnight encounters over on the YouTube channel, My Haunted Hotel. Weird World. South Haven, Michigan resident Jennifer says she was at a festival when she noticed something very odd going on in the sky above her. She grabbed her phone and started to record.
All right, everybody sees me walking. I'm walking. Look. This plane isn't moving. It's not moving.
I'm telling y'all, something after COVID
But it sounds like it's moving.
fucked with the Matrix. There's been so many sightings of this happening.
Now, Jennifer claims that the small airplane had been flying in the same spot, not moving at all, for hours before she finally decided to grab her phone and record the video. As you can see in the clip, many others also noticed the strange plane and filmed it as it is seemingly frozen in the sky. Could it be that Jennifer captured a, quote, glitch in the Matrix? Or is there some simpler explanation? You tell me. This next video was shared to the internet without a source, and after a long search, all I was able to find is that the video was recorded on the PJ Patterson Highway in Jamaica. The recording shows a truck driver heading down the highway at 4:30 in the morning when something happens that would shock anyone.
Oh shit. They're trying to rob him.
Someone steps out into the highway and intentionally throws a bike in front of the truck, causing a potentially very dangerous situation. However, the truck driver just continues on like it's nothing. He doesn't slow down, he doesn't stop, he doesn't even seem to care. And probably for the best, because as it turns out, the stranger with the bike was most likely part of a criminal group that was trying to get him to stop so that they could rob him or maybe even worse. And so, yet again, I will say, real people are always scarier than anything paranormal.
Yep.
Unless you're this driver. Because it seems he ain't scared of He'll just run over your bike, he might run over you, and he'll just keep on trucking. Kudos to you, insane truck driver man. Keepers of the Old Church. Paranormal investigators Jeff and Phil from the YouTube channel Ghost Tech Paranormal Investigation set out to investigate rumors of an allegedly haunted church deep in the woods of Bedham, England. The Old Mission Church.
That man said, "Fuck your
the
bike!"
Stone Church was built in 1880 and served as both a school for local children and as a place for Sunday worship for the town. But years later, the small town around the church was touched by tragedy. In 1919, a devastating influenza outbreak took the lives of nearly half of the town's children and many adults. The church/school fell into a state of decay. It was eventually forced to close in 1959 as the aging structure had become hazardous and unsafe. The historic building is now in ruins, but the church grounds is said to be extremely haunted by the ghosts of long ago. Witnesses have reported hearing the unexplained voices of children, and some even claim to have seen strange shadow figures roaming inside the church. As they begin, Jeff and Phil set up multiple static cameras. Now, the Ghost Tech guys always try to stay calm during their paranormal investigations, and after many years, Jeff and Phil aren't easily shaken. But they start to experience some highly unusual activity that even seems to make them a bit nervous.
Well, look, as I was saying, I'd asked for your name, and it may well be that you've told me your name, and I just can't hear it. You have to shout as loud as you can. Something touched my hand. Something just touched my hand. Okay, sorry, please excuse me jumping back, but it felt like you brushed through my hand then.
Let me introduce myself. My name's Jeff, and my friend and colleague standing there holding a camera, his name is Phil.
Phil.
So as I thought I could hear children's voices earlier, can I ask if any children can come forward, come inside the church and say hello to us, please? Now, back in the old days, when I say old days, I mean hundreds of years ago, there used to be a settlement here, and they used to cut wood. We've been told that there was kilns here. So it was a tiny, tiny little village. And I guess that this church was the centre of that village. That was a voice, Phil. So it was a tiny, tiny little village. And I guess that this church was the centre of that village. That village.
That's wild.
That was a voice, Phil.
Phil says something touches his hand, and Jeff hears the voice of a child that is captured by his EVP recorder. But that's certainly not all that happens this night, because as they continue to ask questions, they capture something truly bizarre on multiple cameras.
How it must have been different when the building had a roof, doors, windows, perhaps pews?
Ooh.
What was that, Jeff?
black mass went right in between me and you and went over here.
Could you come back, please?
A black shadow moves in between Phil and I, and it is captured on all of our cameras. Here is the footage taken from static cam 1, followed by the footage on all 3 cameras from all angles.
Perhaps pews?
Ooh. Oh shit.
What was that, Jeff?
It covered the light.
Perhaps pews?
Ooh.
What was that, Jeff?
A strange shadow passes between Jeff and Phil, but because they're filming in the dark with infrared, Phil just can't see it. However, Jeff spots the figure on their infrared camera and is shocked. The 2 other static cameras also managed to capture the creepy event. So the 2 investigators take a break from filming to review their footage, but leave the static cameras to record while they're gone. After they leave, the camera inside the church captures another strange event that Jeff and Phil simply can't explain. So, could the church be haunted by the children who tragically lost their lives in the 1919 influenza outbreak? You decide. You can watch this entire investigation and many more spooky videos over on the YouTube channel, Ghost Tech Paranormal Investigations. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't noticed already, my upload schedule is just weird these days. So please subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you're always notified when a new video goes up.
All right, my people. Appreciate you guys tuning in to this weekend's spooky stream. Next weekend, we're going to start off with the cam show. Those are really good. And sometime this week, my first YouTube video drops of Reddit short scary stories. Yeah, I want to watch My Haunted House. But yeah, my first short story video drops this week, so be on the lookout for that. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Tokyo Japan. Go subscribe. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the video this week, so I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great week. I love you guys very much. If you'd still like to text or DM me suggestions for the names for the kittens, you can do that. I would appreciate it. But yeah, you guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you in the comment section of my YouTube video. Have a good one.
My people singing. My people singing. Hope you did
cause how could you sleep at a time like this? People, they rhyme like this, we're all impressed by this. They rip it, flip it, but these are just triplets. Wrote this in 3 minutes, 3 words to a line. It's just poetry divided. I'm the kind of guy who takes every moment he knows he can fight it. In music to use it, for others to use it. You're dead cause how could you sleep at a time like this? Life is up here, but you comment below. And the comments will always become common motivation to promote your show's next episode. So your brain knows to keep going even though it's far from this moment. But you and I know it gets better when one day finally rears its head. Together we're losers, remember the future, remember the morning is when that is dead. Release me from the present, I'm obsessing on these questions. Why I'm in denial that they tried this suicidal session. Please use discretion when you're messing with the message, man. These lyrics aren't for everyone, only if you understand. Please use discretion when you're messing with the message, man. These lyrics aren't for everyone, only if you understand. My people singing. My people singing.